everyone, so today's video is going to be a language learning application review. The application is called FlashAcademy and it is available on the App Store and on the Google Play Store, is that what it's called? Sorry, I'm an iPhone user. And so yes, I'm going to do a quick sort of demo on my phone, and whilst I'm sort of demoing you around the app, I'll also give you my sort of positives and negatives of the app. I have been using it for about 2 months. The company did gift me a sort of lifetime subscription so I could do the review, but they're not sort of paying me to lie about how I think about it. So yeah, we'll get going. Okay, so let's now open the app. So they do have full language courses in German, Italian and Spanish, but they do also have these other languages, which I'm going to show you what that's for now. This review I'm going to be focusing on French because that's the language I've been learning and that's the language that I know best. I'm sorry that you can't see the whole screen. I can't get my camera to focus if I show you the whole one. So when you click on this scan button, basically what it allows you to do is, so when you click on translate, it allows you to sort of take a picture of something. So I'm just going to take a picture of this orange pen. And then it asks me, like, is this a good image? I say yes. Let's see if it knows it's an orange pen. Can you see that? Orange click pen. I'm not sure always whether the French translation is the best. It's very good at knowing what it is in English, but then I think it uses some kind of auto translator to turn it into French. I'll just insert some pictures here of other things that it managed to figure out what they were that I was really surprised that it managed to do. So this is a very powerful feature. To be honest, I've not really been using it that much. But maybe if you're having like conversations with people in French, or you're a tourist and you need to ask like how much is this item or something like that, then this could be a really cool feature. Obviously you can use the different languages in that. So this is sort of the main bit of the app, I would say, is this kind of like vocab learning, I would really say. They do teach you some stuff about grammar, but it's mostly focused on vocab. It starts at the very beginning. You are collecting these sort of XP points as you complete it, and you can see your kind of scorecard of lessons that you've completed, words, games, etc. And you also can connect with friends on here, but I haven't connected with anyone. So it starts at the beginning, so they have beginners courses, but then they also have intermediate, and then I think they also have advanced. And the good thing is that if you already know all the beginners ones, you can actually skip straight away to intermediate. So I'll just sort of show you. So each section, you do need to download it from the internet, but once it's downloaded, you're able to use it offline. And one of the cool things I noticed when I've been doing this a lot on the train, is that you can actually listen to music whilst you're using the app, and it will like slightly turn the volume of the music down so that you can hear the people talking. So that's really cool. So yes, they do have these kind of like cute little images that are very colorful. It reminds me a little bit of Duolingo, it has to be said. So in each section, they have like sort of, I will show you in a minute, they have, oh, this is a new feature. This is a new feature. I've just updated the app. This is new. Okay, right. Pause the review. So one of my critiques of the app actually was that it was extremely vocabulary focused, and it would give you kind of big block pages of grammar, but then it wouldn't actually test you on the grammar. But now that I've just opened the app today, there's actually a grammar lesson. I don't know if you can see just there. Come on, focus. And I'll do it on camera for you so we can do it together. So let's give this a go. Okay, so what's the subject pronoun? So it doesn't read it out, you need to read it yourself, but that's cool. So it's got the kind of I, you, he, she, we, etc. Okay, so you can read that. Let's go. Okay, they, group of females. So it gives you the letters. It's not like a keyboard. It would be harder if it was a keyboard, I suppose. They, group of females. Oh, okay. Let's see if, can we listen to it? Elle. Continue. Okay, she, elle. Using the pronoun tu. Tu is informal and used when talking to friends. So you have to read this yourself. So if you like very just click through it, you're not going to get much from the app, but it does provide you with all the information. If you want to learn, then you can. And it also gives you these example sentences, which are really useful. Okay, what I like about this actually, which they hadn't done before, I'm only just seeing this now, is that they've added extra letters that aren't needed, which is really good. So it's a bit more of a test for you.
Il mange des céréales.
Okay, so I'm just going to finish that. Okay, so I'm going to show you a normal lesson now. So once you've completed the lesson, you can choose to just see flashcards, or you can also review the lesson. So I'll just quickly show you sort of what a lesson looks like.
La confiture.
So you get this, which is very, very good, clear, native pronunciation with a great image. And you can also see a video of someone speaking.
La confiture.
So you can really perfect the way that you pronounce. And this is a feature that Duolingo does not have. Duolingo is extremely robotic, okay? So you get to see the image of jam, and then it wants you to try to spell it.
La confiture. Le café.
And then you can watch the video.
Le café.
So you get two pronunciations of it. And then it wants you to remember the image of jam.
Le pain. Le pain.
So at this point, it's testing you on your listening and not your reading. So that was bread.
Manger. Le petit déjeuner.
So that's the kind of thing that you see. The images are normally very good, but I will just insert some pictures of sometimes where it's not entirely obvious what the image should be. So when you first learn the word, you should really pay attention to the image that goes with it. So when they later on test you according to the images, you know which one to click on. So during the lessons, you also get to see culture tips, which are quite cool. So they have stuff about like le croissant and le pain au chocolat. This is kind of how you learn words like and some of the verbs, is it kind of like throws them in there, and then you kind of figure out like, oh, like must mean and. And the same here, like j'aime, it's not taught you like to like yet. So you just sort of see that, and then you make the sort of connection yourself, like, oh, that must mean like. Which maybe you prefer, it's a bit more intuitive, but maybe you also don't like that, I don't know. At the end of every lesson, there is a kind of like conversation, like a kind of like instant messaging style conversation, and then it asks you a question to answer about the conversation that you've heard and read.
Bonjour Christophe.
Bonjour Victoire.
Que veux-tu pour le petit déjeuner?
Je voudrais un jus d'orange et une tranche de pain.
So now, does Christophe want apple juice for breakfast? As you can see, he says, I would like orange juice and a slice of bread. But you can listen to these again.
Bonjour Christophe.
If you didn't hear.
Bonjour Victoire.
And then you need to say true or false. So does he want apple juice? No. And then it highlights where the answer was, and you can also translate the things into English if you didn't know what they meant. On every single section, there are these word games, and I would say that these word games are the sort of probably the selling point of this app. This is the greatest thing about this app. The word games are really cool, and they're designed to test you on the vocabulary that you've learned in this topic. And they give you a target score, so you know when you've passed the target score, I'm quite far above it. I'm going to sort of show you the game now. I'll do it sort of slowly so you can see what it's like. It does have a demo if you don't know how to use it. Hopefully you can still see everything. And it is timed, and these games are very fun. So on this one, you want to remember the word for skirt, which it will have taught you. So it's jupe, and then you got to spell it like that. And then you need to say, does that word match that? So manger, no, 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 yes, yes. And now you have to match these up. So jouer and toy. I will say sometimes when you're trying to do this very quickly, it doesn't notice that you've pressed, but it's not that annoying. So now you want to click on the thing when it pops up. So now we're looking for doll. And we're looking for box, la boîte. So now you have like these balloons that appear that you need to click when the same words appear. Obviously, you can do it really quickly. So here you have to find the wheel that matches. Ooh. So that kind of gives you an idea of what the games are like, and they are very good because for most of them you need to have the word in mind. So for instance, if I show you on here, like obviously maybe not for this one, but for this one, like you kind of need to know exactly how to spell it, and then you need to, sometimes it's really hard, like even when you know how to spell, it can sometimes be pretty tricky to find all the letters. No, yes, no. So you can see your time running out up there, by the way. You have like a time thing. And the further through you get, the faster it gets as well. I'm gonna stop playing the game there because I think that gives you pretty good, idea. So I think that's kind of the app. It's the same for all these different sections. It has like really deep stuff that maybe I don't actually know all of the stuff on here yet, which is quite good. Health and body, environment, economics, religion, technology, health, lifestyle. So it seems really in depth. And at the end, you do get this kind of graduation thing, which I'm really interested in. So yeah, I'll swap back to the view of me. So that's a little demo. If there was an area of the app that you want to see a bit more in depth, do let me know and I will consider making another video. Just to be clear, this app is paid and I will put the prices just here so you get an idea. If you have tried a lot of the free language learning apps or your budget is a little bit bigger, then yes, this would be a nice app to add to your language learning routine, but I don't think that you could use this exclusively because there isn't much of a focus on you sort of talking and sort of having conversation style things. Also, there isn't much free writing, so you composing your own sentences. There isn't much of that, but you can get a lot from this app. I'm just going to talk now about positives, negatives, recommendations. I do have some notes. I'm just going to whiz through them, so hopefully you won't get too exhausted, but you will also get a lot of useful information. So positives: native speakers, nice imagery, easy to use, split into subjects. If you don't like some subjects, you don't have to do them. The games are really fun and they are really great, and you do want to beat your high score. And there is an ability to add friends, so if you have a competitive edge, you can also do that. The cultural tips are a nice sort of element, especially if you're learning the language because you're going abroad. I like that there's no nonsense sentences. On Duolingo, it sometimes make you type in like really crazy stuff that you would never say, like, the tortoise was reading the book in the kitchen. It's like, come on, you're never going to use that. But this app is always very like relevant. The ability to skip to a harder level is also useful. So if you're not a beginner, you can still benefit from this app. A really nice feature to add would maybe be a kind of level or ability test. That would be pretty cool. I also like this kind of brain trainer feel to this. If you're someone who sort of, you know, for instance, my mum likes to do these like games on her iPad every day to like keep her mind working. This has like a nice sort of brain trainer feel to it with the games. The games are truly fun. The video of the native speaker speaking can help you a bit with your mouth placement. If you're a bit kind of like unsure, like I can't make that noise or something like that, it might help you. And I do like that you can listen to music whilst you're doing lessons. I think I did already mention that. And one of the negatives that I wrote down was that there was no grammar lessons, but as you can see, there is now grammar lessons, so they are improving, which is really great. The negative was no real ability to talk, no ability for it to assess how well you're saying the words. For example, Babbel does actually analyze whether you're pronouncing things correctly. No free writing. And you can only choose from letters. I do like that now it did add in some kind of trick letters to try to fool you, but it would be nice if maybe they added the ability to swap to a full keyboard so you can challenge yourself even more. And I also wrote that some of the games are a bit hard. They're not hard, but you just have to, for some of them there's a bit of a knack. So for example, the spinner game, there's a particular point where you need to press the button in order to get it. And on the one where you're matching the pairs, sometimes it doesn't seem to pick up my finger touching the screen, but that may be because I'm doing it so quickly because I want to beat my score. So recommendations was add grammar to the games. If they can make a game as fun as these are that teaches you tenses, subjunctive, conjugations, etc., then this app will be phenomenal because grammar is boring. I think grammar is so boring. And so if they manage to make super fun games on grammar, then this app will be amazing. Because for instance, it does show you like the masculine, feminine versions of the word, and when it shows you the verbs, it does show you like the different versions of it depending on who you're talking about, but it doesn't seem to test you on them in the game. Just focusing on the games, it would be cool if there were more games. The games are very fun, but it can be a little bit repetitive because it's the same games for every single section. And maybe games for beginners, games for intermediate, games for expert could be a cool way. And I think also a game, like an elite game, which tests you on every single word that you've learned would be really fun as well. So yes, oh yes, final point, there is no call to review. So when you finish the lessons, it doesn't kind of, you can review them at the end and you can do flashcards whenever you want, but it sort of doesn't really notify you, so it doesn't send you sort of alert saying, hey, it's been 2 weeks since you learned greetings, why not go over it? It doesn't do that, it's up to you, and maybe you prefer that. So that's it for my review. I hope you enjoyed it and you found it useful. If you did, do leave me a like, do leave me a comment so I know you want me to make more videos like this. I do have a Duolingo versus Babbel video coming up. It's highly requested and it is in the mix, it is coming soon hopefully. And I also have some videos coming up about Memrise hopefully as well. So if you're learning French or just languages in general and you find that interesting, maybe consider subscribing, and I'll see you all next time. Bye!